Hey, welcome to GMTV show 112. Sorry for the delay. 10:49. We've been dealing with gremlins on the internet today, and we'll be right back. Hey, Will Baird.
Hey, how are you?
Glad to hear your voice. Can you hear me all right?
I can. Yeah, it's good to hear your voice too. I didn't see.
Bill Nolan and I have been in absolute tech support hell trying to figure out how to get the show started. So good to see your smiling face.
Oh, it's fun. I was eating dinner. I usually like to, if I'm not playing, I usually like to, and even if I am, I like to watch you guys talk before I go on. So I'm like opening up my Chinese dinner and I'm watching and I'm seeing you going, no, I'm going to send you a new link in a minute. Okay, just hold on.
Oh, so
going,
you saw some of
something's
that.
wrong.
Oh my God. Yeah, we've had
Yeah,
nothing but trouble. I'm on my
yeah,
second computer. He's rebooting. So
yeah.
Bill Nolan has the oldest Mac in the history of Macs. I think he has like a Mac 128, like
The Grand
I
Mac.
I don't even know how he's on the air. But I
The
said
Mac
reboot and he
Daddy.
goes, that could take hours.
That could take forever.
So we're stretching right now, waiting for
Yeah,
Bill Nolan. So
exactly.
how are you doing, by the way? What's going on up
So
in
I'm
Boston?
good. I'm good. I'm moving actually. I'm getting out of here. I don't know if you can see any like moving boxes behind
Where
me
are
or
you
anything. Yeah.
moving to? What's going on?
I'm moving to Newton Upper Highlands, which is like moving up from Cambridge. So it's up in the Highlands. We're up in the Highlands here.
Is that part of Boston or
It's outside of Boston. Yeah,
it's
it's in the
outside of
suburbs.
Boston?
Whereas yeah. So Cambridge is right next to Boston, sort of, and this is like in the suburbs. So this is like it's like Westport without the rich people and without the celebrities.
Oh,
It's
right.
like a
Okay.
down to earth Westport, a
Are
down
you
to
on the
earth rich
water there?
Westport.
Is that on the water?
So, well, I do overlook the Charles River, but it's only about 30 feet wide. It's like the beginning
Ah,
of the Charles
okay.
River. So
All
yeah,
right. So I have
so
a sense of where you are. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's sort of it's underneath a bunch of gigantic television antennas that are like thousands of feet high that I've seen
what's
ever since
that?
I
That's
was
where
a child.
Boston gets all its TV from. That's where you're moving.
I guess so. I don't know. I was like, does anybody actually pay attention to anything that comes to this broadcast from towers anymore?
Well, maybe
Is it
their
really?
towers work and
It's,
my towers
it's,
don't. I even seem a little bit like groovy. Is my video doing something funny right now?
no,
I think
only
StreamYard.
you.
I think the platform that we use is having trouble today. I don't know. I'm going to
It's
chalk it up for that.
it has has its oh my gosh, I can't even speak either. It has had its moments lately. So
I've
and
had
the
my
company's like
moments lately.
growing.
So
Yeah.
I have just come off an 11-day stint in Connecticut, and I haven't been in Connecticut that long in a row
Yeah.
for a
That's a
long,
long
long
time.
time. So
Yeah.
so I had a bunch of gigs with different bands. Um,
The monkey
and I
girl snap crackles the monkey
no,
pop
no snap crackle
girls.
no snap crackle pop. I had the girls, unfortunately got canceled because of rain. British
No, that
Legends of
was
Rock. We had a great show on a day where it rained from the beginning of the show until the end of the show. It
yeah.
poured and thundered and lightning.
Mhm.
And then I had do you know Bob Lamont?
His name's familiar,
Bob
but
Lamont,
I
great
can't
guy.
place the
He's a
face.
professor
Yeah.
and a Haitian fellow, and we have a band. Bob Lamont. No, he has a band. I play in his band, the Bob Lamont Blues Band, and we played his Yale 45th reunion when he
Wow.
graduated from Yale. So we played that, and then he said to me, "Oh, then what I'm going to do? We're going to do like 4 or 5 songs as a band." I'm like, "Okay." And then he said, "Okay, then you're going to run a jam." I was like, "I'm going to what now?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're going to. We have some talented people in the class, and they're going to come up and they're going to play music with each other." And I was like, "Oh, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Like nobody's." He says, "Don't worry, you'll see." Right. So then this guy gets up, this like very cool character, right? This like really like if
Mhm.
if there were a cartoon character for the coolest jazz guy ever, like this cool guy wearing a
That's
blazer,
just
he comes up, he's like, "Hey man, how you doing,
hey.
man?" Right? And he comes up, and it turns out it's Luther Vandross's keyboard player, and
Oh my
and he
god.
gets up and plays jazz with the band, and it's like
Yeah.
smoking good.
Oh my
And then
god.
a
Yeah.
couple of women get up, they're professional comedians. A
Hmm.
guy gets up and plays banjo better than I've ever seen it in my life.
Well,
He's
that would
like,
be the first time. Yeah.
no, it's amazing. He was like, what are the three songs that banjo is famous for? Right? He was like, there's Deliverance, there's
Hmm.
there like whatever the songs are, right? And he
Yeah.
does them as a medley, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, so it was a wonderful time. But my point is, I got done with all these gigs,
Hmm.
and I felt like uh, I'm not in the same place as I used to be. I was Mr. Every day, a gig somewhere, doing
Yeah.
something different. And now I'm like, I can't take the pressure of the traffic and the people and the setups and the
Yeah.
gear and the trouble. And I got back out here to PA. I jumped in the pool today. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God. I don't know if I have it in me anymore.
This is well, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. But you're not in the habit of it. We're not in the habit of it. Because I get done with a gig and the next day I just feel like, oh my god, what have I done to my body? And
One gig. I
and
used to do
yeah,
250 gigs a year. Now I do one gig and I'm like,
yeah,
I can't take it
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. It's I don't know whether it's I think it's COVID and Mercury retrograde and StreamYard problems and everything else. But I think it's great that you did 11 in a row. I mean that's a good
Well, not
run.
11 gigs, 11 days. I got through 11 days.
Okay.
It was like,
Mm.
get to the gig. First of all, I took the jam van, right? You remember the jam van, the
Hmm.
super
Oh
colorful
yeah,
van
I've
that I
seen
have,
pictures
right?
of
So
that. Yeah, I've never
I
seen
took
it
the jam
live. Yeah.
van and
Hmm.
I put 600 miles on the jam van in the 11 days. 600
Just getting it.
miles.
Wow. Wow.
So it's 100 there, 100 back, and 400 miles to the different gigs running around Connecticut.
Yeah.
I spent $300 on gas.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's efficiency for you, man.
Yeah, it's a 1997
Wow.
Dodge van, and
Yeah. Nobody
I now I
expects.
have
Yeah.
to revisit whether I can afford to ever drive it ever,
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
just to go,
Mm.
like if you miss an exit, like oh shoot, I
Hmm.
missed my exit, I got to
It's
turn around.
another $10.
$10, $10 to miss the exit.
Oh my God!
Seriously,
It would take me, $1,000 to get anywhere. I miss every
right?
exit. And
So
I'm the
then,
only
but even the
person.
Mini Cooper,
Mm,
just to drive to Connecticut back, the Mini Cooper is $50 for a
yeah,
Mini Cooper.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah. And that thing like runs like on a thimble full of or eyedropper full of
Right. It's
gasoline.
just like, and now you've got to really watch your energy and all that. It's
Hmm.
really not great. But
Yeah,
so
it
I've
is
got a
really
bunch of
strange.
gigs this summer. I got
Mm,
a call from
mhm.
uh, a band from Long Island, and they need a sound company to handle them at Foxwoods at the Hard Rock Cafe at Foxwoods. I'm like, they don't have a sound
Mhm.
system at the Hard Rock Cafe in
Well,
Foxwoods.
yeah,
They're like,
wouldn't you
no,
think? Yeah,
they
yeah,
make us bring our own sound. I'm like, okay, well, you don't have sound as a band. And they're like, oh, we want it to sound
yeah.
good and we don't want to be pressured. And I'm like, okay. So I quote them a stupid amount of money to run sound for them.
Yeah.
Sound guys make a lot of money. And
Right.
they're like, okay, we want to do it. And now I'm
Yeah.
like,
Uh-oh. Yeah.
I don't
Mm,
know.
mm,
I don't know if I want to. I mean, I'm going to do it,
yeah.
obviously, but I'm like,
Yeah.
it used to be great. Let's get it started. Let's make this happen. And now I'm like, I'm going to stay home. I want to go to the
Hmm.
pool.
Yeah. I was just checking to see whether that ringing was Bill Nolman calling him.
Yeah, right.
I can't
Yeah,
get in. What the hell? I
exactly.
was thinking like, how did he get my
Exactly. Yeah,
phone number? Who gave him?
exactly. You
So
watch,
as
it's Bill Noman. No, not Bill
no,
Noman.
I
But
did this gig. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
what I was going to say was, so Dave Lindsay and I, we always talk about Bernie's Dining Depot.
Prime rib lovers, it's time to open wide.
So Bernie's Dining Depot, right? They were out because of supply chain disruption. They were out of prime rib. That's what they
Wow.
do. They're a
Yeah.
prime rib restaurant.
That's it,
That's
man.
what
I
they
mean, you
do, right?
you
And
can't hold up a
they
piece
were
of
out of
chicken. I
prime
mean,
rib. So they
yeah.
got prime rib a week ago. They finally are back in
Mhm.
business. I can't afford to drive there.
Yeah.
It's in Chicopee, Mass. It's like,
Yeah.
do I want to spend $100 on gas to go
Yeah.
get?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the way it is. It's like got to do local gigs, I was going to do a bunch of Connecticut gigs, and then I realized, and they were all like pro bono gigs for hospitals and stuff like that, and which is most of what I do. And then I realized what it was going to cost me, and I was like, I can't do that anymore. Not in another state. Come here. So
Kind of crazy, right?
So I did this outdoor, I did this outdoor memorial for the Newton Wellesley Hospital on Memorial Day for people who had passed away in the past year. And I've never done a memorial, like a serious, like don't fuck up a note, or else you're going to like ruin the moment and upset the pastor, as well as all the surgeons and everyone else. And everything's going great. You can I get done with like the special memorial moment of silence, and where they want you to play this background, and then these ventilator fans turn on above us, which ventilate the whole hospital, and the moment is so
drown you out completely.
Okay. So so it's even if you stay at home in familiar places, there's still a cost to it, even if it's not economic,
Yeah, right. A cost to my soul of leaving the house. Like, I don't know when I became agoraphobic. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I won't leave my cats. Yeah.
Right. I don't want to leave. I take my cats. I take my cats to the gig.
Yeah,
but just great. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call Bill Nolan on the air. Watch this. Right, here we go.
And then while you're calling him, I'll call him too.
Believe it or not, it's still. I mean, I'm on Facebook now. I'm just waiting for the fucking thing to. I just need the. I'm close to.
Oh, you're on the air, by the way.
Oh, by the way,
we decided to call you on the air.
Really?
Yeah, it's well bared. I'm gonna put Will Baird on here.
Yeah, hey, Bill Nolan, how you doing?
Hey, Will, how you doing?
Oh my God,
I'm doing all right.
Bill Nolan is on the air by telephone right now while his computer starts up.
Yeah. So what are you gonna sing now, Will? I mean, Bill.
I'm on the link now. And let's see if it comes any different than it did before.
Let's see if we can get Bill Nolan. We've had nothing but grublets. We were like 15 minutes. I swapped out 2 computers to get on the air, and Bill had this computer. Finally, I get Bill, and he can't hear me, and it was like nothing but trouble. Then Facebook deleted us from the stream, and so he's still trying to get on. Bill Nolan.
We weren't even being political. That's crazy.
That's right.
That's right. We weren't even saying anything bad.
It's a jam. It's a jam-surrection.
Right now, I'm staring at the little StreamYard circle. This is exciting shit. This is exciting video.
Circle of death. Yeah, that's what that
true.
thing
I'm
is.
waiting. I'm waiting for you to pop into the studio, and we're going to see you in the studio.
Yeah.
Well, it's likely going to happen, but who can say?
So what year is your Mac? Like a 1986 Mac?
No, it's like 2008 or something like that.
Oh, that's pretty old.
It's much more recent. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's an operating system that has topped out. I can't.
Can no longer be updated. Yeah.
And
it's like my pride.
I'm entering the broadcast studio. I'm on a walker, and I'm coming from a mall walk, but I'm entering it right now. I'm on a walker.
Oh my God, we're waiting for you, Bill Nolan. Everybody, the fans, everybody in TV land, we're waiting for you to appear in the studio.
This is really compelling stuff, and I can only say if it doesn't work this time around, Ed, I'll see you next week.
That's exactly right.
I'm so sorry I can't pick up the slack.
Is killing me. You're still not in. You clicked the link like a minute ago.
I'm at the page. Oh, here we go. So. But here again, it says unmute, and the unmute is pinked.
Oh, no.
So I'm clicking on it, and of course, nothing fucking is happening.
Oh, no.
I'm in the studio right now. We shall see what happens.
Yeah, we don't see you.
I see you guys, I think. But I mean, what you should not be... It's possible you can't hear me. But you should be seeing me.
Hold on, something's happening.
You see me?
I'm hearing me now.
Oh my God, it's Bill Nolan. Caller, turn down your radio.
I got to turn off the. Hey, that was like a bad WFAN call. It's like,
oh my God, I can't believe we got you on the air.
It's a
Craziness.
miracle. Now I can go back to eating my Chinese food. I came on and there was Ed alone, and I was like, oh my god, it's like 7:37. He's never alone at this hour. So dialed in. So
I
my
can
food's
only
like
say
sitting back
that the wait will not be worth it.
the work will not be weighted.
It's like, for those of you who stuck around for 34 minutes, God Almighty.
There
Well,
we go.
it's sort of like Saturday Night Live, except that every now and then something goes, well, stuff went wrong in Saturday Night Live. They would have like downtime and, people
Yeah,
say
except
stuff
they
that
all
weren't
became
expecting.
famous and rich and made movies. Look at us.
That's
Good
us,
point.
right
Yeah,
around the corner, right
Yeah.
over the hill is
That's right.
fame
I'm
and
almost
fortune
there,
for
man.
us,
I'm
Bill.
almost there. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, we're running out of gas. Yeah.
I hope you
How you
don't
doing,
drink.
Will?
Drink.
You good?
Hey, Bill.
You good, Will? Everything okay?
I'm good. Thanks. Yeah, I'm getting ready to move. I've been playing a lot, too much, wearing my body down. Ed and I were talking about that. Post COVID, it's like we're not in shape. We're like out of gig shape.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like you
I
get worn down too
can't do
quick.
anything anymore. I got back from doing a bunch of gigs, and I was like, all I want to do is stare at a tree, and not do anything. It's crazy.
Yeah, I have a gig in Rowayton every year. I've done this for, I don't know, like 15 years or more, where I bring my sound system to the place where they make the Memorial Day speeches, So, I do that, and then I play a little set while I'm there, which I learned like way too late. I should have been doing it forever, but I do it later. And this year, last few years, I've had a gig after that. I do that gig and I do that, and it's mostly humping. Like the speech gig is mostly just humping equipment.
Yep.
And then I have the gig after it. And when I came home after the gig after it, which I didn't have to supply any backline or anything to, it was just a plug and play thing, which was great. Like just unpacking my car, the prospect of unpacking my car, of taking literally my full range of all the PA equipment that I have, because I need it all to do the outdoor speech thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like my wife ended up helping me with some of the stuff that has never happened. And I think she was just looking like, I keep explaining, I'm more valuable dead than alive. So really, you might want to rethink that, but it was like just humping the equipment. It was just like, wow, I just didn't want to do it, but
It was my whole life. My whole life was moving gear every day and doing shows and jams and gear and jams and shows and gear. And now I don't know how to do it anymore. I don't know how to pace myself anymore.
I freaking injured myself at Bobby Q's moving one of your speakers, which Holly thought was the one we should have been moving, and it wasn't. And it
I
was
remember you
I was
got
like
the heavy
laid up.
one. That was
Like,
the heavy one, by the way.
it was just like freaking brutality. I've actually looked into a more compact system for when I'm doing solo stuff, and I think the majority of what I do is solo stuff. And I've looked at some things, and I think for about $700 I can get kind of what I'm looking for: smaller speakers, a little mixer that only has like 4 channels on it, like that kind of thing. So I could have one person with me.
I got some ideas for you if you want to. Talk
Okay,
now.
yeah, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
All
same
right.
here,
Meanwhile,
actually.
do a song for us, because Jimmy
yeah.
McGuire says, skip
Music.
the politics today and play.
Yeah.
I can use you to
Okay, I'm going to do a song, a Jefferson Airplane song. I should have been doing a song about how technology is ruining my life. The summer had inhaled and held its breath too long. The winter looked the same as if it had never gone. Through an open window where no curtain hung, I saw you. I saw you coming back to me. One begins to read between the pages of a look, the shape of sleepy music, and suddenly you're hooked. through the rain upon the trees that kisses on the run. I saw you. I saw you coming back to me. You can't stay and live your life my way. Scatter my love like leaves in the wind. You always say you won't go away, but I know it's always been. It has always been a transparent dream beneath an occasional sigh. Most of the time I just let it go by. Now I wish that it hadn't begun. I saw you. I saw you coming back to me. Small things like reasons are put in a jar. Whatever happened to wishes wished on a star? Was it just something I made up for fun? I saw you. I saw you coming back to me. That is a lovely song, I have to say.
It is, and it's an hour after you first logged in for the show tonight, and I don't know how you're just like, there it is. I'm just going to play it perfectly right now.
Well, I mean, this was the Jefferson Airplane's second album, which was their first album with Grace Slick, was called Surrealistic Pillow. And it was a big signing by RCA, who was, they were looking to tap into San Francisco. And the Airplane were really the first band that got the big contract, and after that, Warner Brothers jumped on the Dead and things, Vanguard jumped on Country Joe and the Fish. But that album, Surrealistic Pillow, is an insanely good album. I mean, it's just something, there isn't a bad cut on it. And it has things like Jorma Kaukonen's famous, like, Embryonic Journey. I don't know if you know that song. It's an instrumental song that it's used by a lot of FM stations for interstitial stuff, it's just, and 3/5 of a Mile, and then Somebody to Love, White Rabbit, like all of these things are on that album. And man, it's such a great album. It made a huge impression on a young boy who hadn't yet tasted cannabis, but was on his way.
What about the first album?
Well, the first album had this singer named Signe Anderson, and I think it was called Jefferson Airplane Takes Off. And honest to God, I never owned it. I never owned it.
Take off.
Never bought it.
I'm sure it had some good things on it because it still had, Jack Cassidy on bass and Jorma, but that's not Grace. And Grace was kind of cool. Grace was cool, and she was also a complete pain in the ass, which made her even cooler.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Jefferson here. I'm gonna have a drink myself. I got myself a Gosling's rum.
Nice.
I've got my cup of heavy duty alcohol.
Nice.
That's the move.
If I'm not drinking tequila, rum is my next thing, and I think I'm a happy drunk on rum. That's what I think.
Yeah, rum is happier. Tequila is very happy for me. Vodka makes me very, very sad. Like, I can't drink vodka. People are like, have vodka. I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, my life.
Like to me, the brown goods are the things I'm not interested in. Like the.
I love vodka. I mean, it's that's like my,
I like
my drink
vodka
of
too.
choice.
I've actually
absolute citron, and I'll get miserably happy.
I've actually gotten into gin recently because I have a friend who's really into it, and I sort of, I had a bad experience with it many years ago, but I mean like many years ago, and that colored me for about 35 years. It was just
in college.
like, there's a lot of other things to drink. Why am I drinking something that I had the worst experience of my life on?
Yeah, I have PTSD from some night from freshman year. I'm gin for the first time. It's like, I can't go back there.
Well, I only have rum. I have rum because I'm not really. I don't really drink. Like, I don't drink that much. I drink very little. And anybody knows me from gigs, like they're like, "Wow, it's having a drink, amazing!" Because there's too much going on. I've got to be around running a jam or running an event. So I can't be drinking and doing that. But rum I would have because of boats, and the British Navy rum and the idea of a rum ration. And so I always had a bottle of rum or two on board. People would bring me rum, and I would have these bottles for years, for like 15 years. I would have this bottle of rum with dust on it in the liquor cabinet on the boat, and I would not have any of it. And I think these bottles that I have here are still left over from those days. And once in a while, I'll buy a bottle of tequila.
Well, I mean, I like rum.
Gummy, gooey inside.
No, they're fine inside.
I mean, could it be? Could it like revert back to its sugary, birth? Like,
that's true.
I've never had rum that lasted that long, honestly.
Oh, well, maybe that's my problem in life, is that I'm poisoning myself with this old liquor. But
it's funny. If I go to like get a physical or something like this, and they're doing the checklist, and they're saying like, how often do you drink? And I say, well, definitely once a week. But that sometimes, whatever persona I seem to have created here with like, tequila is my thing of choice. That doesn't mean I'm slamming this every freaking night. I'm not. Basically, there are many months that go by where that's it. You're seeing the sum total, unless somebody's been sociable and asked us over to their house or something like that.
Right.
I don't drink at home ever, except for Thursday nights.
You drink at my jam and on Thursday night for Jam TV.
Yeah. So it's like, basically, like I said, it's once a week, basically.
It's nice to know you're not a lush. It's really nice.
Though, I would be happy to go in that direction if I thought there was some future in it, If I could become like a great lush, if I could be like the best lush ever, I would do that.
All right, do a song.
Okay, this is Leonard Cohen, and this was one of my songs that I used to, in the height of COVID, this song, along with Splendid Isolation by Warren Zevon and Keep Your Distance by Richard Thompson. This was the third of the triumvirate of songs I did. It's a song called Everybody Knows, and he gets very prescient at the end, and this was written a long time before COVID. See, everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with the fingers crossed. Everybody knows that the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys lost. Everybody knows that the fight was fixed. The poor stay poor and the rich get rich. That's how it goes. 'Cause everybody knows. Here's a stanza for Ed Train. Everybody knows that the boat is leaking. Everybody knows that the captain lied. Everybody's got this broken feeling, like their father or their dog just died. Everybody talking to their pockets. Everybody wants a box of chocolates, long stem rose. Say everybody knows. Chorus, everybody knows. Everybody knows. That's how it goes. Everybody knows. Say everybody knows that you love me, baby. Everybody knows that you really do. Everybody knows that you've been faithful, give or take a night or two. Everybody knows that you've been discreet, There were so many people you just had to meet without your clothes. Everybody knows. And everybody knows it's now or never. Everybody knows it's me or you. Everybody knows that you live forever when you've done a line or two. Everybody knows that the deal is rotten. Old Black Joe's still picking cotton for ribbons and bows. Everybody knows. Say everybody knows. Everybody knows. That's how it goes. Everybody knows. Now check this verse. Say everybody knows that the plague is coming. Everybody knows that it's moving fast. Everybody knows that the naked man and woman are just a shining artifact of the past. Everybody knows that the scene is dead. There's gonna be a meter on your bed that will disclose what everybody knows. And everybody knows that you're in trouble. Everybody knows what you've been through. From the bloody cross on the top of Calvary to the beach at Malibu. And everybody knows it's coming apart. Take one last look at this sacred heart before it blows. Say everybody knows. Everybody. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. That's how it goes. Everybody knows. I cut it a little. As long as that seemed, I cut it short.
Great song. That's a great song.
It was all worth it for the verse about the meter by the bed. That was like,
I mean, the whole thing is just,
alone.
You know, it's funny, like, you know, we often talk about guys who maybe the songs are possibly better than the delivery system, you know, and Tom Waits, we've talked about.
We never talk about, no, those guys are amazing.
No, never.
Dylan,
No,
you know,
yeah.
all of these guys. And I kind of put Leonard Cohen in that same thing where,
Oh my God, yes.
but I love him. I love him on his own terms, but truly
Right.
the songs are open to a wide range of interpretation and, you know, not limited by, you know, I mean, he's great. He's a stylist, you know, he does what he does. He's not like a, you know, quote unquote, a great vocalist, but he's a great, you know, he delivers his songs as well as anybody can because he wrote the friggin' things. But that being said, they're great songs, you know, like that's what he writes.
But it's a unique style. These guys they all have their, like, everybody, you say, go ahead, imitate Bob Dylan. They're like, like I should be so friggin' famous that they would go,
Imitate Ed Train.
But that's like, you know, that's the cartoon take on Bob Dylan, you know, and Bob Dylan, you know, his career is so frigging long.
But you forget who you're dealing with here. I'm the cartoon guy.
I know, but it's like his career is so long, and he's had so many different permutations of how he delivers what he's doing, and he's been a Jesus freak and a folk singer and a guy who did something quasi R&B and you know, and broke the mold between folk and rock. You know, he's done so many things.
He's basically Madonna. He's basically the male Madonna. That's it.
He's Madonna.
Shower?
He's Madonna without the Gautier bra. I think that
Which I like.
Yeah.
I
The one
totally
with the
like
cone
that.
things. I don't know about the cone things. I never liked the metal cone things.
The Leonard Cohen things. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Leonard Cohen.
the cone things. I don't know.
The pointy bras that she wore in one of the videos, you know.
I have nothing bad to say about Madonna. I think Madonna, you know, and she also aligned herself with a number of really, really good people. And in particular, there's a guy named Patrick Leonard who was at a certain period of time when she was doing Cherish, and there were a bunch of songs at that time. And he's a brilliant freaking producer, and you know, I just liked everything that she did then. And the videos were great too. It was all Herb Ritz was shooting them, and they were like,
that's it. The videos. That was an era of MTV, and I was shooting videos for MTV. They basically, in those days, Bill Nolan, you will remember this. In those days, they shot commercials and music videos on film, and they would take the film to a place, and they would put it on a machine called a telecine, and they would load the film up. So there were so few people in New York who actually knew how to load film and clean a hair off a gate on a camera, and like the things I learned in film school. When I got to New York and I was working in a studio and I was doing stuff, they're like, wow, you know how to like load a mag on an Arri camera? You're hired. You're directing the video. I'm like, what?
You know how to edit with a razor blade? Wow.
Yeah. Well, no, they didn't do that. They edited on 1-inch video. They transferred it to 1-inch video because they had to get it on the air fast, right? And so but in those days, if you knew how to shoot film, and so I knew how to shoot with an Aton, you know, Super 16 Aton camera. I knew how to shoot with, you know, Arri cameras and whatever. So they're like, you're hired because you know how to do it. So I did I directed a Public Enemy video, a Taylor Dane video.
Wow.
What else did I do? A whole ton of video. I can't even remember right now. But because I knew how to load film, that was it. And then video came along, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Those commercial days in advertising were so funny, and you know, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about a commercial that I did for Sony, and I was just, you know, I was the creative director. I didn't shoot it. I didn't do it. You know, as I always used to tell my mom, she goes like, "What the hell do you do? Do you take the pictures?" I go like, "No, Mom." "Do you do this?" I go, "No, Mom." She goes, "What do you do?" And I say, "Mom,
I'm an idea man."
Mom, I bring a sensibility. That's what I do. You know,
sensibility.
Like, well, why don't you wear a tie and bring a sensibility, Billy? And I'm like, "Mom, we don't do that anymore. Like, we don't do." But we're doing a commercial that ended up. It was part live at Meadowlands during a Giants game, and then in a studio shoot. And the director was a guy named Robert Harmon, who directed a cult film called The Hitchhiker that had Rutger Hauer as this kind of, you know, Terminator guy character that is just chasing C. Thomas Howell like throughout the whole movie, you know, and it's like this thing.
What a great movie that was. I love that movie.
So Tom, you know, he wants to do a commercial, and I'm like, okay, you know, that sounds like fun. I liked the movie. I didn't, you know, I mean, it was a cult movie, so I sort of liked it. I thought that was fun, you know. So that, you know, the live part at Meadowlands is, you know, way under his, you know, capabilities, and then we have the interior stuff, and so of course he has a cinematographer with a, you know, unpronounceable, you know, Polish or Czechoslovakian name, and I go up to the guy and I say, dude, you know, the client loves like the black product, you know, because it just looks great. And we had in the shoot, we had Brian Dennehy's daughter was one of the talents, and the other one was the fun David Allen Greer, like the sort of funny comedian guy,
from
funny guy. They were two of the three people that were in it, you know. So I go to, you know, Vladimir Schmuff, and I just say to him, like, I just want you, you know, just make sure, you know, you light it, because the black just eats light. And I'm saying this just as someone who knows just from, you know, from experience. I'm not a film person. I didn't go to film school. But I just sort of knew this from working in it. And he gives me this look that like, you fucking cretin, get out of my face. I'm Vladimir Schmugger. Well, at the reshoot, he wasn't quite as smug, you know. At the fucking reshoot, I'm like, how about now, Vlad? You think you can fucking light the thing now? Okay. You know, it's like, they like to see the LEDs. Light the fucking thing. Pardon my French, you know.
That was the business. Oh, my God.
Oh, my.
Crazy. What else you got, Bill?
Okay, MTV. Okay, let's go MTV.
Yes.
There was a band called Scandal that I liked very much.
I
Oh
love
my
Scandal.
God, Patty's.
They had
right.
two good hits, and they had, of course, the future Mrs. John McEnroe, Patti Smith, and I think it was
Smythe.
Smith, even though it was with a Y. I think
Smythe.
it was.
Smythe. No?
Yeah, Smith.
I think it was
Yeah,
Smith,
was-
even
I
though
think
it was
it
with a
was
Y, but it could be
I always
Patti
called her
Smith.
Patty
I don't
Smythe.
know.
We used to do those shows. I played in a cover band in the 80s, and we did Scandal.
Yeah, and she did, she did a big hit with like Don Henley as a duet. She had a moment in time,
Oh, yeah.
and I really liked her. And you talk videos. This song, I just loved this video so much, and I just have been interested in recently in doing 90s songs just stripped down, like just stripped down,
Right.
and making them
Love it.
far less interesting or pogo dancing potential. Like there's no
Bring out the roots of the
But
song.
this is one of those songs that I just loved on video, and I just loved her too. She's got a great voice anyway. Those times I waited for you seem so far ago. I wanted you far too much to ever let you go. I never got by. I feel you've guessed you never could stand to lose. It's such a pity to say goodbye to you. Could I ever have loved someone like the one I love in you? I remember the good times, baby, and the bad times too. These last few weeks of holding on, the days are dull, the nights are long. I guess it's better to say goodbye to you, goodbye to you, goodbye to you. 'Cause baby, it's over now. No need to talk about it. It's not the same. My love for you's not the same. And my heart, and my heart, and my heart can't stand the strain. And my love, and my love, and my love can't stand the pain. And my heart, and my heart, and my heart can't stand the strain. And my love, and my love, and my love. Ed, this would be a great place to play like something Farfisa-ish, like if we ever play as humans together. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. Could I ever have loved someone like the one I see in you? Remember the good time, baby, now, and the bad times too. These last few weeks of holding on, the days are dull, the nights are long. I guess it's better to say goodbye to you, 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 goodbye to you.
Great.
Love the.
She had the cutest look too, like when at the end of the video, she's like, "Goodbye to you," and she just, oh my god.
Yeah, she was dancing around in this red dress. She was
So
high.
cute.
All the other guys in the band were like, right. And I remember
I caught a vibe between her and the guitarist. I think there was something
Okay.
going on there. But,
not the keyboard player. He had a Synergy keyboard. I'll never forget, like the Edsel of keyboards. He had this big Hawkins Synergy keyboard. Like I wanted to be Scandal. Like I was in a band very much like Scandal with a girl like that, and the whole thing was. I enjoyed that stuff.
That stuff was, honestly, people tend to, say that there was no good music in this time or that time or another time, but there was a ton of good music in the 80s and into the 90s. There was also a lot of shit, but more in the 90s, I feel, than the 80s. The 80s, you know, there was a radio station in Long Island called LIR.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to have on Sunday nights, they used to have this thing called Off the Boat. And I had a buddy, I was living in New York, he was living in Connecticut, and we would listen to that at the same time, and then we would talk. And it was like, you know, it turned you on to so many people that became, you know, certainly famous for the 80s, you know, maybe you know, Howard Jones, Paul Young, you know, people that were very talented, but, you know, and they, you know, they had some lasting power, but maybe not totally. But I still have cassette mixtapes from like 84, 85, 86 that are kill, you know, like they're just, you know, it's just great stuff, you know, like.
Well, there were people who were doing a lot of great stuff in the 80s. It's just it was hidden by hair. You know, that was, if you go back and look at pictures of us all, it was like, what was I thinking?
I swear, though, the fashion and the hair was very embarrassing in the 80s. Like, it was really like, there was a trendy thing that was like never going to come back. It was just bad.
Yeah,
and,
for good reason.
And, you know, basically it's summed up in 4 words, a flock of seagulls. You know, like
oh my God, a flock of Nimrods. Yeah.
You know, that was basically, that was the, you know, that was the template for what all that was wrong. And then, you know, in advertising, of course, there was a lot of people who shouldn't be sporting a ponytail, but they were, you know, like there was a lot of like bad ponytail stuff and, you know.
I have a hilarious
feather earrings and like the 80s was really a bus wreck. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But it,
I have
you
a
know,
horrifying photo.
at the same time, it was a hell of a lot of fun, you know. And it was a great time to be living in New York, I thought. You know.
That's true. I lived in New York from 86 to 89, and I worked really hard. I was in television, and I worked really, really hard, like 7 days a week. I didn't, although in 86, 87, I used to shoot music videos at the Limelight and at the Danceteria and where else? Like places like that, you know, the big dance clubs. Limelight was a church that was like a very out there dance club.
I literally, I would not step foot in the Limelight. I just, while I am not a religious man, I am a spiritual person, but not religious. But I believed if there was some sort of biblical retribution, that was the place they were going to hit.
Absolutely. I used to say,
church, you know,
when I shot videos at the Limelight, at the church that was the Limelight, I used to tell people, when you go to heaven, when you get to the pearly gates, they're going to ask you one question. They're going to say, did you ever go to the Limelight? I was like, that's it. Hell for you, you know?
I was hoping that, you know, if I got to anything, though I don't believe in any of what you just mentioned, but if I actually got there, I was going to say, did you catch the Clash at Bonds in Times Square? And I would say, yes, I did. And then I'd be like, you're in, you know, go join Ray Charles. Go see Ray Charles because he's over there, you know, and Roberto Clemente, you know, go see some great people, you know.
You can go hang out with the other musicians, the good ones.
You know, I had some, you know, photo shoots, and one of them was at Studio, as we call it, Studio 54, and I had the bad experience of seeing that place in daylight, and it was like, oh my God, you know, I have like laid on this carpet sort of stadium seating kind of thing, you know. It was like, you know, very wide, you know, wide enough for Halston to lie on top of Liza Minnelli, I guess, but you know, it was like wide and carpeted, but carpeted like, you know, like that all weather carpeting, you know. It was kind of, and you just looked at things and like, is that gum or is that something else? I don't even know. And it was like, it completely changed the way I looked at the whole thing. I was just like, wow, okay, I'm never going to sit on that again. That's that.
Oh, here we go.
God, I loved New York in those days, though. I just,
wow.
It pains me that, you know, my daughter lives in New York now, and it just pains me that her, you know, her whole impression of New York is through the, you know, the current kind of lawless, you know, crime-ridden, you know, danger in the subway, you know, like her whole perspective is based on that. And, you know, it's where I was born. It's where I had my most formative years as an adult. I love the place. I go there as often as I can. It's not that big a deal, people. It's 35 fucking miles away. All right. Stop talking like it's going to like Ohio, like you're close to it, you
Right.
can go in, and they have trains and they have other, but I mean, it just bothers me that she doesn't look at it the way I look at it, because
It's funny. When you started that sentence, you did not go where I expected you to go. I thought you were going to say it was so great back in the 80s, and I'm sorry that my daughter sees New York as the Lion King on Times Square, and that New York is all nice and clean and, Chelsea Piers or whatever. And you went, because basically in the 70s and 80s, New York was pretty crappy and dangerous.
Oh,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
it was.
The
Before
Dinkins years,
Julian.
It was pretty bad. I mean, you worried about, I remember my mom and I and my girlfriend at the time went out for a walk. We went to a movie or something, and we were out in Washington Square Park, and it got out a little late.
Uh-oh.
You gone mute, Ed?
Yeah, Ed's gone mute. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will Baird and I are now the president. We are now the president.
We're taking over the network.
Will
is
Baird,
ours.
which rhymes with Melvin Laird, he is now
That's
the
right.
president because of
Good
Will,
old
you-
Uncle Mel.
Ed. You're
Did we?
Ed. I'm
did we get it?
seeing the muted
Yeah.
thing next to your name though.
Yeah, you're muted, Ed.
You're muted.
Now,
You've-
There
Oh,
you go.
now he's back.
There you go.
there you go.
Ed, I
Yeah,
just sent you an
I-
embarrassing photograph of myself in my last band in the '80s. Oh, it was the blue ball.
The blue
ball effect.
sphere.
Yeah,
The worst
sorry, I shouldn't call it
connection,
that.
other than a couple that I made at a party about 3 weeks ago.
The dreaded blue ball issue.
Yes, yeah.
It's the worst. It just doesn't
no.
stick in the thing. That's what she
Going
said.
downhill now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. Bill Noman has one of these.
I
It
do.
just doesn't stay in there.
Right over
Oh
there.
my God! I just
does
we're going to
not.
go downhill from here. I can tell. Ed, I just sent you a humiliating photograph of myself in my last band in the '80s. That was the days of the hair, and it captures it all. I just emailed.
All
it
right,
to you,
I'll
but it was
put that
another
on
day.
there. I got to get that on the air. Yeah.
So
It was
Will-
my most
Will, were you in-
regrettable moment ever, but I gotta throw it in for entertainment's sake. So.
Will, were you in electric bands? Obviously, yes, right?
Yeah. I was in my own band, and then I was fired from a great band, and then I was fired from a better band, and then I gave up.
We like to say you just found a different position. You sort of moved on. Firing is really a harsh word.
I
because
moved
don't-
on to corporate America.
But
Got
so
the
you
hell
played
out.
an electric guitar, right? You played electric.
Yeah, I went from playing. I was an acoustic folky guy, and opened for Livingston Taylor and Suzanne Vega and a bunch of people like that. Tracy Chapman was really, really young, so she opened for me at a gig. But they were like, it was a small college crowd. And then decided I really wanted to be like a folk rocker. I was always like 5 years behind whatever the trend was. And then this was the rock band that got a little edgier. That this photograph is from.
And-
But
and you
I
played
I know I'm going to
electric guitar.
regret it, but
What kind of electric guitar did you play?
this was a black Strender Fat.
Yeah.
Fender Flat.
I
You
had
know,
a
if you were
Fender
drinking actually
Vibrolux.
alcohol, you would have gotten that right. I'm just telling
That's
you.
right, Fender Serato. Yeah, I had a great Fender Vibrolux. This was great. You could crank the thing up, and it sounded perfect, loud. And it was just
Well,
a trio.
I
just
can only
me and a
hope
good-
that Ed is going to post whatever you sent him, like maybe next week or something.
I'm
We're gonna
working
do-
on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah. The ultimate piece of trivia was the original bass player from the Archies.
Wow.
How about that, huh? Now you know I was doing quality rock and roll. When you hear that.
Well, frankly, I am not in the position to crap on a band that probably had the #1 record in America at one point. It's just like there's all those bands like the Archies and who are the guys that did all the Red Barons stuff? Like these guys, most of them came from advertising. There were guys like Joey Levine who came from they came from like jingle houses. And they just thought, what the fuck? And we'll write
play
something
me,
and, yummy, yummy, yummy. I got love in my tummy, which I thought was like fucking obscene. And yet, oh,
There you
baby,
go. That's me.
Will Bear, look at him.
you look like
singing
Neil
for the
Finn
angels.
of Crowded House. That's a great
Yeah.
look.
That was
And I
one of the
see
tunes
the
I did.
I see
actually.
the Fender in the background on the lower right. And is that like
That's
a
my
sun
Vibrolux
amp?
down there. Yep.
Is that
And
a
that's the
sun
bass
amp
player's-
behind it? Like maybe
Behind it is it's the bass player's amp, so I'm not sure what it is.
might be a sun. It looks like it could be a sun, but
That could be. It's.
and so
I don't know
where
how
would
we
that
carried
gig
that
have
stuff.
been? What would that gig? That looks like a big stage. That's not a bar restaurant. That's a big stage. Where is that?
My computer is like chopping you up. I don't know what's
Oh,
happening.
where
to
was
everybody
that?
or just me.
Where was that gig?
Yeah.
Tell
Where
us about
was that
Oh,
gig?
where
Yeah.
was it? Oh God, it was in Boston, Mass. But I don't.
I mean, it looks like a
remember the
real
name of it.
gig. It looks like a real gig at a real venue.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
it was. It was at Jack's in Cambridge, which was Bonnie Raitt used to play there about
Sure.
2 or 3 years before that, and then she got out of town, and a bunch of other bands that were not. They were sort of one level below her played there, and it's gone now. Everything's gone now. It's all gone. Damn it. But those were the days.
Well, I often wax nostalgic about New York, about, the Bottom Line, Tramps. There were a bunch of places where, you could go into Tramps and you could see Sean Colvin playing with Stuart Smith, who is now in the Eagles, and Larry Klein, who eventually married Joni Mitchell. And they're just playing as a threesome, or Steve Earle playing with Buddy and Julie Miller, and a bunch of, like, there were just, it was just stuff going on there that was so great.
It was
And
yeah.
now it's kind of like, what's interesting now is City Winery, which has a loft space, which has sort of smaller groups, but their big space, it's like legit nightclub shit. Like, you look at this and it's like, lots of tables and monster sage. And there are people that are really good. Mark Broussard, they're doing a Marshall Crenshaw thing, who I adore. I love Marshall Crenshaw. And I asked my wife, I always give her like the right of first refusal. I'm like, are you interested at all in going to see a Marshall Crenshaw thing? And she knows how much I love him, but she doesn't love him as much. And she's like, no, so I'll probably go there alone. Like, I'll probably go alone and see Marshall Crenshaw. But I mean, he's playing in that big room. It is so much more deluxe than the previous City Winery. It's like no comparison. It's like it's almost borderline fancy, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. And then it has that park to the left of it that's right on the river, that was put together by not Bloomberg, but another rich guy, like, built this park right there.
Trump.
And no, it wasn't him. It was actually somebody who was actually rich, someone who was really rich. Not someone who just says they're rich. I forget who did it, but like not Michael Ovitz, but it was like somebody, there. And my daughter lives like in that neighborhood, and it's right there, and she hasn't been there yet. And I'm just like, why don't you go there? It's like, it's a cool park. It looks like it was designed by like Alexander Calder or something. It's like it's interesting. I love New York, and I worked at the agency that came up with that, by the way.
Oh, really? Wow.
Before you came up with the thing about yummy, 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 I got love in my tummy. Right, that was
I didn't come up with that, but I wish I had.
A week or two.
I wish I'd come up with like, na 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 na, hey hey, good. The band's Steam. I'll guarantee you, someone in that band came from advertising. That someone in that band worked at a jingle house.
Right.
They cut that stuff in New York for sure. That's not. You didn't need the Wrecking Crew in L.A. to make that song.
Yeah. That's right.
But it's like iconic. It's iconic.
Right. They did that. Advertising did that in those days. There was tremendous
It's
power.
true.
A friend of mine was in the commercial. I'd like to buy the world of Coke. That ad, iconic ad,
huge,
right?
Huge.
Sang on it and was in the on screen.
Yeah, and I forget who wrote that, but it was somebody that has a name. It would.
Oh, it was somebody like Jimmy Cliff. I mean, not Jimmy Cliff, Jimmy Webb.
Yeah, he didn't write it.
Get the two mixed up.
But it was somebody, who has legit, I mean, I work at this beach, right? And my life is just about trash. It's about, like, I cannot believe that humanity, today, the next generation, the future of our country gives no fucking rat's ass about trash, and neither do their parents who are 20 years younger than me, like, at least, and they don't care at all. And it is 100% generational, because when I was a kid, there were 2 PSAs, and one was "Don't be a litter bug," and the other was "Don't start forest fires." It was like Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear and the Indian at the side of the
That was
road.
the
The
one
guy
I
was
was-
throwing that thing
Iron-Eyes,
out.
Iron-Eyes Cody with the one tear that came down.
Yeah.
Ironically, Iron-Eyes Cody was Italian, but that's okay. But still, it was like, it was one of these things that it was so drilled in us. I'm 71 years old. There is no one of my age
Right.
who would litter or start a forest fire unless they're a complete sociopath,
Right.
and then all bets are off, but still it's like you wouldn't do it. It was just, and so we have many social, campaigns that tend to deal with things, they deal with opioids, or they deal with, crack, or they deal with whatever. But the quality of life stuff that really affects everyone, that, like not every, AIDS, like not everyone was affected by AIDS. So, if you were in New York in the 80s, yeah, you were. And it was something that everybody thought about. But in terms of like messages you could instill into future generations, trash would be like, to me, number one. It would be like, take a look at the world you're in, because if you can conceive of that, you may be able to conceive of the larger global climate issues that are fucking real. I'm sorry, people, they're real, and get with it.
You know what? Global warming has ruined the littering commercials. Everybody's worried about the planet, but
There's
they're
no
not
question.
worried about littering.
And I apologize in advance to Jimmy McGuire, who doesn't want to hear this or whatever.
That's right. He already said, stop it. Yeah.
Play or talk music. Yeah, right. Does that mean he's asking for rap? Is that what
I
that
don't
is?
know. Yeah.
Right. Talk music, exactly. All right, do another one, Bill Norman. Come on.
All right, I'm gonna do now by Sir Elton John. I mean, a song by Sir Elton John, which was on his Tumbleweed Connection album, which was a fantastic reaction to the band's music from Big Pink, as many guys in England were compelled to re-examine their whole lives, including Eric Clapton, who just said, "I don't really want to be in Blind Faith. I'd rather be in Delaney and Bonnie. I don't want to be in a super group. I want to be a side guy." So this is Elton doing a little Civil War thing, and I'm not sure he got it right, but I love the song. From this day on, I will own my father's gun. We dug a shallow grave beneath the sun. I laid his broken body down below the southern line. It wouldn't do to bury him where any Yankee stands. I'll take my horse and ride the northern plain.
The Gremlins are back.
There
Bill
you are.
Norman went, "We just feel love." Boom! He was gone.
Just like, wow, that's really bizarre. It's like
We
Bill blew
lost
up.
him.
That's
We
that is
lost
very
Bill
strange.
Norman. Oh,
My
just in a
God.
moment, too. Just in a moment.
It's
When
like
he
a
was
drummer
doing
from
his
Spinal Tap. He just blew up.
great
Just
song. He just blew up.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
just-
something going on with the.
oh, we lost
with the,
another one. Yeah.
And
Man.
I just got an error message. I tried to load it. Dennis sent a picture down, like of you, the picture that you sent. This one here, right? So Dennis went to send a message, and I got the error message. And this shows you like the Silicon Valley, the young people. So the error message starts with the word "whoa," It goes, whoa. It goes, whoa, comma.
Whoa.
You've got a lot of files, right? I'm like, yeah, no shit, I got a lot of files. Oh my God. Yeah, so Dennis Dennis sent the picture. I don't know. Are we going to see Bill Noman back? You know what he's doing?
I don't know.
He's at home right now going like this. He's like totally into
I'm
it.
going like...
He's playing to nobody right now. We'll call him if he doesn't get back on. But there you have it. That's Dennis right there. Dennis Allred on the left.
Oh my God!
With that long red hair. Is it red? Oh my God!
Gotta love that. Oh, gotta love that.
Nice to see you around, Dennis. Glad to see you watching.
And then the drummer with two. Never mind.
Oh, wait. Maybe I wasn't focusing on that. Let's see. What's happening there? What is happening there?
Is that some sort of a symbol, like that right angle
That's
thing,
like a
or
rap
something?
symbol. I don't know. It's pretty wild.
I mean, each one of them has something to say in his posture. You know, the guitar player, like, or did some just idiot like direct him to do that? Hug your guitar. Okay, now I love it. Now make me hate it. Give me happy. Give me sad.
Crazy. I'm gonna play a good song from Last Minute Productions, and I'm gonna see if I can get Bill Noman back for us. Check it out.
God. I was gonna say, who is playing that bass sax thing? What the hell?
That
Is
was
that?
awesome.
It's great.
That's a
Yeah,
great
really
song. That's a really
It's a 2-valve flugelhorn.
wow.
Valve flugelhorn. Wow.
I've only played a 1-valve. No, I'm kidding. I am.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm only familiar with the 3-valve. I don't know the 2-valve.
Yeah. Well, the
That's a
three
great
valves.
song, and that was a great rendition of it. And that's you with your little magic keyboard, that little
Yeah,
tiny
that's God.
keyboard,
Just
right?
the keyboard
Yeah, that's
bigger
me.
than
I
this.
was playing that like I just gotten it, so it's just my hands on the little tiny keyboard. But
That is a
Sounds
great
great.
Hammond sound, though. That really is a great Hammond
It
sound.
really
it
does
got a
sound
great
good.
Hammond sound. Like, what can you say? You know, like they basically said we're going to put the kick-assest Hammond in a little package for the millennials. They can throw it in their backpack. We'll
Right.
charge them $650 for it. You know, and it's basically a toy.
Which your parents will pay for, and then you
There
have.
it There it is. So we got you back, Bill Dolman.
Hey, we've had this happen before, and I don't know what it is, but I'm not doing anything different. I think it's Yahweh's way of just saying enough. Okay,
Enough. Yeah,
that's
right.
enough.
No, you know what? There's something up. The internet's broken today, or the
Just
platform
like
is
somebody-
something
It's
up.
Allah. Allah has decided.
Well, it's not like
enough.
something like 3 Mile Island where somebody accidentally spilled a bottle of Coke on the control board and like, uh-oh, everybody get out of town. This is a little more complex. Yeah.
You want to try that song again, Bill?
No.
No.
Well, I have no idea what to cut out, but to me, I think I've done enough of it.
Yeah, you don't want to fly in the face of the Almighty and try it again.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Allah be just.
It's
Ali
not
Akbar
nice
Khan,
food.
I've been eating turkey bacon all week, so I think I'm okay.
I've got bacon that's been sitting in my refrigerator now for a couple of weeks,
Don't do it.
and it's just there mocking me because it knows I want to cook it, but it knows that I'm like holding it to a different standard than other things that are in the refrigerator.
Has it got the rainbow? Like, if you look at it, it's got the rainbow on it. When they start to go bad.
Oh no, it's not going bad. I mean, I don't think. I mean,
If you want an interesting experience, go to the diner with Pat Dougherty, the Elwood in my Blues Brothers band. Don't ever go to a diner with him, right? This is Elwood at the diner. He's like looking at the menu. He's got the waiter standing there for like 5 minutes, right? And he's like, how's the toast here? Like that's Elwood. And then that's his typical line. And then he's like, does the roast beef have the rainbow, or is it nice and nice? And the waiter's like Sonny said, I do not know what you mean, right? And he's like, does it have the rainbow like on the edge where it's like the rainbow color because it's been sitting in there for too long? Yeah.
The concession stand at Bailey Beach in Rowayton is so good. The woman who runs it is so good, and her husband and another guy do the cooking there. And it's like I basically it's kind of like if I'm just sitting there, it's just sort of observing what's going on the beach. Suddenly someone puts a plate in front of me, and it's like a chili bacon cheeseburger, or it's like or like a really good egg sandwich. Like they make a really good egg sandwich because the roll is kind of like a mini Portuguese roll, kind of. It's not like untold amounts of bread in the thing. It's kind of like it's got a balance to it that is somewhat unusual.
Right.
But even with my COVID diminished taste buds, which I do have, like something's weird, something's different since I COVID.
Oh, that's right. I haven't heard that before. Really?
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Something is different.
Yeah.
Like something, because before that, egg sandwich, if I'm on death row and they're like, what's your last meal, Bill? And I'm like, just an egg sandwich and give me some hash browns or something, like whatever. It's like that would be it. Bacon, egg, and cheese, well done bacon. Let's do that.
Well, you have to conduct a test now for us for next week. You have to try like something salty and sweet and bitter, and you got to try different things.
It's weird what happened, and I didn't think about it for months, but for months I was aware of like kind of a metallic taste in my mouth, like and the only thing I can attribute it to is when I had COVID, which was at this point 2 Februarys ago,
right?
There are over 23 million people in the U.S. who have long haul COVID symptoms. Most of them complain of brain fog as being the most primary one, but just everything like that, like any COVID symptom, it can become a long haul symptom.
I'm hoping it goes away. I don't,
Happy
because
thought, yeah.
to me, it's like an egg sandwich. You've taken that from me. What the
Well,
hell?
So
what
things
if the
just
future
don't
of food
taste as
sucks?
good? Is that it?
What if the future
It just
of food
does.
sucks?
It
though?
doesn't. I'm not getting the taste of it. Like it's not. I'm getting the experience because my brain is connecting what it is, but I'm not getting the taste, like the egg taste. Like I have to tell Ed Train about the taste of eggs and bacon. For God's sake, this man is like, if there was an eggs and bacon chamber of commerce, you
That's
would
right.
be,
I
if
start
there
my
were-
day. I'm on the keto diet. I don't eat bread, but I do eat bacon and I do eat eggs. So
I don't know what that's called, but I'm down with that. Like
keto diet. You're just
Yeah.
avoiding anything with carbs is the idea. And then what's really funny. Do you know Gada? You know her, right, Bill? The
I don't
belly
know.
dancer. She used to come to the jam.
Oh, I remember. Yes,
And
but I didn't spend a lot of time at Cobb's Mill. But
right,
yeah.
exactly. She used to come to Cobb's Mill a lot, and I haven't seen her since before the pandemic. And I posted a tuna sandwich that I had with fries, and she posts, "Oh, like really? Oh, like you're on a keto diet?" When I'm like, "Wow, people are really watching my diet for me."
Wow. Well, I guess you don't want to take your diet instructions from a belly dancer because in general they're in better shape than we are.
That's
so-
That is
exactly
true.
right.
No, that is very
All right,
true.
come on. So do another song for us. See if you get through it. I dare you.
See if I can get through it.
See if you get to the end. I
Here we
dare
are.
you.
Okay, I'll do a song. This is a song that was had by a guy named Eric Kaz, who was a real good songwriter, and it was recorded by other people, but. I've been romance, dying and dance crazy nights, and wild times. My life has lost its mystery. Love is blind, and it cannot find me. I'm blowing away. Shadows, whoa, take my love and leave. I'm blowing away. Shadows keep taking my love and leaving me. Now I have cast aside my foolish pride, and I'm going down for the very last time. I've searched this earth, I've sailed the sea. Love is blind, and it cannot find me. I'm blowing away. Shadows take my love and leave. I'm blowing away. Shadows keep taking my love and leaving me. They keep taking my love and leaving me.
We lost Bill Nolan. Bam!
Holy
He went out
crap.
again.
Man, that's amazing. It's like the amazing invisible Bill Nolan.
Bill
The
Nolan. And you
vanishing
know what
Bill
I just
Nolan.
realized, Will Barrett? I just realized this while oh, he's back. He's back.
I think I hear the dinner
He's still
bell
playing.
ringing.
He's still playing. Yeah.
You got back in record time on that one.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
it's
true.
weird. It's like it says on my thing, plugging into the internet is better than using Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, I do that. Yeah.
112 shows later, and you're reading that one.
Yeah.
I'm
no,
not using Wi. Well, I mean that's StreamYard's frigging thing.
Right. Yeah.
I don't
that's
know.
Their thing.
But God Almighty,
if
I
you don't
think
mind.
that's it.
No, there's something screwy. You know what I just realized? I'm like, God, it's weird. This show is real quiet. Like a bunch of people said they were going to come on the show, and now I realize I never sent the new link to anybody.
They're all going somewhere else.
At the beginning of the show, we had technical problems, so I had to create a new show and a new link, and I never sent the new link to anybody.
So is this
now-
literally just the three of us? Is that?
So I
literally-
just got a bunch of notes. I was just reading. I'm like, like they're like, I'm in the studio, but there's nobody here. I guess you're not doing the show tonight. I'm like, oh yeah, oh God.
Yeah. Oops.
I've often said I don't care if it's just the three of us. I don't care, but you know that's.
As long as there's somebody there.
Oh my God. Do you think that ever happens to like Conan O'Brien? Like there's no guests on the show and they're like, oh, we told them it was another night. They all came on. They went to the other studio.
I don't think so, but I had a friend who was the MD on that show, and Jimmy Vivino, and he was always bitching about like their budgets because they had like shit budgets, and then they ended up going with no band, no nothing. Now I guess he's off completely, but there's a difference between TBS and Channel 4. Like there's a
Good point.
There's a difference.
Point well
That's
made.
right.
Well, I think I'm done here.
We're all done too. This was a show. I was this close to being like, that's it. We're
I
not doing it tonight. It's off. We're not doing it. But
Well,
Well.
now I'm hungry and beaten.
My Chinese food from an hour and 20 minutes ago. Oh, here we go. Nicole, Amy,
a
Lawrence.
few of my friends swear their taste buds have
Yeah.
never been the same.
Oh, there you go.
So it's
There you
not,
go.
who knows?
Not just you.
It's not just you.
That's what they say, but who knows?
The only one.
Oh
Well,
my God.
anyway.
All right, you guys. Well, that
Hey,
it
Ed,
was a quiet-
before you
What?
leave, Ed, what number do we affix to this? Is this 115 or something?
This
like
is
that?
112, so it would be week 115, but we missed 3 over the course
It's
of
like
2 years.
111.
I think
It's
we've
like
missed more than 3,
112.1.
honestly.
No, it's
but-
been 3. Like I've kept the numbers honest. So this is show 112, and it's been about 115 weeks. So
As always, when I tell people that, they're like, "What?"
Well, think about it.
yeah.
If it adds up to 100 people on both sides, right, Facebook and
Right.
YouTube,
Yeah.
per show, and you've done over 100 shows, that's over 10,000 people. In
That's
theory,
a lot.
who have seen this show. That's
it's
a
a
lot.
lot. It's a lot. Well, to you, all of you in viewerland, and you guys, good to see you. I'll see you next week, or I'll see you soon. And I'm going to play one music video, and then bring our good friend Steve Wexler on to say goodbye for the show. Good to
Night,
see you guys.
night, everyone.
Good night, you.
You see, you've been getting on so good, so proper for so long. No, you never hurt me. No, you never gone and done me wrong. I know that something ain't just no good, but you always do exactly what you should. So tell me, how do I let a good man down? How do I let a good man down?
Thanks for watching GMTV show 112. And our 3 guests are the only ones who got the invitation. We'll figure it out one of these days. And now for something completely
That was quite a show.